Well, if you're like me, you couldn't be more thrilled that summer's almost over here in South Louisiana. We're right on the verge of excellent fall fishing. And I tell you, every year, among the first places to turn on are these rivers and bayous that enter the Lake Pontchartrain system. And Jeff Bruhl, for fishing right there, is always among the first to get on that bite. He's come today to the East Pearl River, probably jumped the gun just a hair. There's a ton of small fish in here. A lot of undersized trout, but there's enough keeper-sized trout to keep things interesting. Not only that, you cannot believe how much bait is in this ecosystem. It is mind-boggling. Things are set up to get really, really good here any day. Probably just need the water temperatures to reduce just a little bit, and things are going to be going crazy. And let me tell you, it's not secret spot fishing. That right there is a bridge over the East Pearl. Just on the other side, the other bank, is Pearlington, Mississippi. Easy fishing. We're catching fish right here inside of the bridge. So get on out here and do it. If you can wait a week or two, it's going to get even better. Nothing but great fishing from here on out. So get on out and enjoy some of it.
So Jeff, we're kind of early in the season, but things are about to get really good here in the Pearl River system. Huh?
Yeah, usually teal season, that usually signals the beginning of it. And if you get a couple good cool fronts down, it changes the water temperature, and if you get shrimp migrating and shad migrating, and it can be really good. Just come down to the mouth of any of the rivers or bayous like Bayou Lacombe or Liberty. Trout will start showing up about then, and you'll catch reds and bass mixed in with them, but most times the trout show up right about teal season every year. Oh, there's bait everywhere. There's shad everywhere. I don't know how to shrimp. I haven't seen any shrimp jumping, but sometimes you'll see shrimp jumping and shad everywhere, and that's usually a signal that the fish are going to start moving back in. Yeah, you're not going to catch anything great big. Every once in a while you might get lucky and catch 1, 3, or 4 pounds, and most of them are that 12, 14-inch size that you get to take home. You're not going to catch big monster trout here. Just usually catch a lot of small ones mixed in with your keepers. I like to catch them on top waters early in the morning. Sometimes a cork's good, but really the best technique is just to take a 1/8 or a 1/4 ounce jig head and put some kind of plastic and kind of just swim it along. Sometimes they'll use like a jerk shad, something 5-inch jerk shad. Sometimes a matrix shad. Just you basically swim it. And I tell people, when you feel a tap, don't set the hook, because a lot of these, you get in a small fish, just keep reeling it, and when he loads up, then you set the hook and try to catch him. Because it can be a lot of small bites before you get into the bigger ones. Usually they're going to be on the drop-offs. Like if you go and say Liberty or Lacombe, it goes from about a 2 or 3 foot bank and drop down to maybe 6 to 8 foot. And they're going to be right where that curve of that drop-off is, and you just kind of swim that bait over the top of that drop-off and let it fall a little bit. Another good lure is like a Miradyne or some type of suspending jerk bait or something like that. That can be really good. But for the most part, I just swim some plastic along and see what I can catch. Well, you saw today we caught them all the way up by the launch on the East 90 launch, but a lot of times they'll be down all the little tributaries, the middle, the west middle. They don't get on the west too much. They'll be down at the mouth of it, but I've seen them catch them up above Highway 90 on the East Pearl, catch them a bend or two up in the fall. If that east wind, south wind blows that water back in, and you get a good salt water content, and the bait's up there, they're going to migrate all the way up there.